We live in an age that glorifies exhaustion, a world that applauds sleepless nights, glorifies burnout, and convinces you that if you're not constantly grinding, you're falling behind. Everywhere you turn, you're told to push harder, sacrifice more, and fight life as if it were an enemy to be conquered. We're told that success belongs only to the relentless, the sleepless, the ones who burn themselves out chasing dreams at any cost. But what if this entire mindset is the very thing keeping you stuck? What if the harder you chase, the further your desires run from you? What if I told you that nearly 2,000 years ago, the ancient Stoics uncovered a truth so powerful that it quietly overturns everything modern culture teaches about achievement, desire, and success? What if the fastest way to attract what you want is not through force, pressure, or obsession, but through calm mastery of the mind? What if letting go is not weakness, but the ultimate form of control? Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, commander of armies, ruler of the most powerful empire on earth, did not credit his strength to endless striving. In his private journal, never meant for public eyes, he wrote a simple but radical command to himself: confine yourself to the present. He understood something most people never realize in a lifetime: that when you stop wrestling with reality and start aligning with it, life begins to cooperate. The Stoics were not passive philosophers hiding from the world. They were disciplined warriors of the mind who learned to win without forcing, to lead without desperation, and to achieve without inner chaos. Picture water. It does not shout at the mountain. It does not rage at obstacles. It does not panic when blocked. It adapts, it flows, it moves with patience and certainty, and over time, it reshapes entire landscapes. This is the Stoic secret of relaxed intention, holding your goals firmly in principle, but lightly in emotion, wanting without clinging, acting without anxiety, trusting without surrendering your discipline. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never confront: the tighter you grip your desires, the more they slip away. When your mind is consumed by fear of failure, obsession with outcomes, and constant self-pressure, you create resistance. And resistance is the silent enemy of progress. Anxiety clouds perception. Desperation blinds opportunity. The Stoics knew that the greatest barrier between a person and their goals is not lack of effort, but lack of inner order. And now, here's where everything changes. When you learn to relax your grip without abandoning your purpose, you become dangerous in the best way: calm, clear, unshakable. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there, but invisible to a frantic mind. You attract people, timing, and circumstances, not through manipulation or force, but through a quiet confidence that signals readiness. This is not mysticism. This is psychological alignment backed by centuries of Stoic wisdom. This is not about becoming passive. This is not about doing nothing and hoping for miracles. The Stoics rejected laziness as much as they rejected chaos. This is about mastering the difference between exhausting struggle and effortless action, about planting seeds with discipline, then trusting the process without poisoning it with doubt. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate, not blind optimism, but profound acceptance paired with decisive action. Today, here at Stoic Sage Academy, I'm going to walk you through 10 powerful Stoic principles that will completely change how you pursue your goals, how you relate to desire, and how you experience success. These principles are not motivational slogans. They are battle-tested mental strategies, refined over thousands of years by emperors, generals, and philosophers who understood human nature better than we do today. But before we go any further, pause for a moment. If you're ready to stop forcing life and start flowing with it, hit the like button right now. It signals your commitment to inner mastery. Then write this in the comments to anchor it deeply into your mind. When I relax, life moves toward me. Share this video with someone who is burning themselves out, trying to control everything. Subscribe to Stoic Sage Academy because this journey has only just begun. And whatever you do, don't skip a single moment of what comes next. Number 1. The discipline of detached desire. Here is the paradox that quietly controls most human suffering. The harder you cling to a desire, the faster it escapes you. People spend their lives chasing outcomes with white-knuckled intensity, wondering why nothing ever seems to land. But the ancient Stoics uncovered a truth about desire so precise and unsettling that modern psychology is still catching up to it. Epictetus, born a slave, later one of the most powerful minds in history, put it with brutal clarity. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This was never an invitation to shrink your ambitions or abandon your dreams. It was a lesson in sovereignty. The Stoics understood the crucial difference between wanting something and needing it to feel whole. The moment a desire turns into a need, you lose leverage. Need breeds desperation. Desperation distorts judgment. But when you want something deeply while remaining emotionally complete without it, something shifts. You become composed, grounded, magnetic. Think of the people you've met who seem to attract success, respect, or opportunity without begging for it. They are calm, self-contained. Their desire has space to breathe.
The Stoics called this state preferred indifference. You prefer success over failure. You prefer connection over loneliness. You prefer abundance over scarcity. But your inner peace is not dependent on any of it. Your identity does not collapse when outcomes change. This inner independence is powerful because nothing is more attractive to people or to life itself than someone who is not grasping. When you practice detached desire, you stop broadcasting anxiety. You stop negotiating with reality from a position of fear. Instead, you operate as someone who already trusts life. Decisions become clearer, actions become sharper. You choose from confidence instead of panic, and confident action almost always compounds in your favor. The real transformation happens when you can honestly say, I am moving toward this with discipline and intention, but I do not need it to validate me. That is not surrender. That is maturity. That is wisdom. It is the recognition that your limited perspective cannot always see what life is arranging on your behalf. Try this today. Bring your greatest desire into your awareness. Notice the tension around it. Then soften your breath and say quietly but firmly, this or something better. Feel the difference. Feel the space it creates. Let this principle settle deeply, and if it resonates, anchor it by writing this in the comments. I desire with calm strength, not desperation. Number 2, the magnetic power of the present moment. If you're honest with yourself, most of your mental energy is nowhere near where your power actually lives. It's trapped in a future that hasn't arrived or buried in a past that cannot be edited. But the Stoics understood a truth that feels almost offensive to modern thinking. Nothing is created anywhere except now. Seneca expressed it plainly. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This was not poetic comfort, it was tactical wisdom. When your attention is fully anchored in the present moment, you begin to notice what a restless mind will always miss. Subtle openings, casual remarks, small invitations that quietly lead to life-changing outcomes. Presence is not passive awareness. Presence is power. When you are fully here, you are no longer dragging the emotional weight of regret or fear behind you. You are clean, clear, responsive. This state carries a different energy, one that people instinctively trust and gravitate toward. Think about the most compelling individuals you've encountered. They are not scattered. They are not rushing to the next moment. When they speak to you, they are there. Eye contact, stillness, attention. You feel seen. You feel grounded in their presence. That quality alone opens doors long before words ever do. The irony most people miss is by obsessing over the future, they sabotage it. By trying to escape the present, they weaken the only place where leverage exists. When you fully inhabit this moment, it becomes the foundation upon which better moments naturally arise. Opportunity does not wait in tomorrow. It reveals itself to those who are awake today. Your breath is the simplest tool you have. Each time your mind drifts into what if or if only, return to it. Feel air move in and out. Feel your weight on the ground. Name 3 things you can sense right now. This is not mindfulness for calm alone. This is training your mind to stay where creation happens. Stop treating your life like it hasn't started yet. Stop standing in the waiting room of someday. The present moment is not a pause between events. It is the doorway through which everything meaningful enters. Number 3, the alchemy of embraced resistance. Let's begin with an uncomfortable certainty. Life will oppose you, not occasionally, not unfairly, inevitably. Obstacles are not a glitch in the system, they are the system. And what separates those who evolve, manifest, and rise from those who remain trapped is not whether resistance appears, but how they interpret it when it does. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire collapsing under plague, war, political betrayal, and personal loss. Yet in the quiet of his private writings, he left behind one of the most radical ideas ever recorded. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This was not poetic optimism, it was strategic clarity. Marcus understood that resistance is not a wall, it is a training ground. Most people meet resistance and immediately assume something has gone wrong. They internalize it as failure. They see delay as rejection, difficulty as a sign to retreat. But the Stoics saw resistance differently. They saw it as refinement, as preparation, as reality asking a single question. Are you strong enough yet for what you're asking for? Look at how nature operates. Muscles only grow by being torn and rebuilt. Trees that never face wind grow weak roots and collapse in storms. The oyster does not curse the grain of sand. It transforms it. What irritates strengthens. What challenges sharpens. Your obstacles are not punishments. They are invitations to become larger than your former self.
When you accept resistance instead of resenting it, your energy shifts. You stop wasting power arguing with reality. You stop bleeding strength through frustration and self-pity. Instead, you redirect that energy into navigation, adaptation, and growth. You become fluid, persistent, precise. Like water, you do not retreat, you reroute. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It does not mean surrendering your will. It means choosing response over reaction, wisdom over impulse. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this shaping me into?" Every challenge contains information. Every setback carries instruction. Every delay holds direction if you're calm enough to read it. The next time your plans unravel, pause before resisting. Ask yourself, how might this be protecting me? What skill is this developing? What perspective is this demanding? Sometimes the delay is mercy. Sometimes the detour is destiny. Sometimes the closed door is preventing you from entering a room that would have shrunk you. Trust does not mean blindness. It means humility, the recognition that life sees a wider board than you do. Let resistance do its work. Let it temper you. And if you're ready to grow instead of crumble, anchor it here in the comments. I grow stronger through resistance, not weaker. Number 4. The sovereignty of inner authority. Here is a truth that dismantles years of silent suffering. Most people are not lacking opportunity, they are leaking power, and they don't even realize it. The Stoics understood that the moment you allow external circumstances to dictate your inner state, you surrender the only authority that actually matters. Epictetus stated it with surgical precision. No one can harm you without your consent. This is not denial of pain. It is a declaration of jurisdiction. Your emotions, your peace, your sense of worth, these were never meant to be governed by other people, outcomes, or conditions. Yet every time you say, "I'll be happy when," or "I'll feel successful if," you quietly sign over control of your inner world. Consider the cost of this habit. Your mood rises and falls with approval. Your confidence inflates and collapses with numbers on a screen. Your sense of identity bends under opinions you didn't ask for. This is not sensitivity, it is self-abandonment. And the Stoics saw it clearly. When you outsource your inner authority, you become dependent, reactive, and easily destabilized. Reclaiming inner authority changes everything. You realize that peace is not something you earn, it is something you choose. That confidence is not granted, it is practiced. That abundance begins as a mental posture, long before it becomes a material reality. This does not make you indifferent to results. It makes you unshakable while pursuing them. When your well-being no longer hinges on outcomes, your actions become cleaner. You speak more honestly. You take risks without panic. You walk away from what diminishes you without fear. This inner stability creates a powerful paradox. The less you need validation, the more respect you command. The less you chase, the more life responds. People feel this authority instinctively. They trust it. They follow it. Opportunities align with those who are not internally begging for them. Success flows toward those who do not use it as a substitute for self-worth. Begin this practice immediately. Before checking messages, metrics, or mirrors, pause. Ask yourself, what state do I choose right now? Calm, gratitude, resolve. Then live from that decision. Your external world will reorganize itself around the signal you send from within. Wet this land and affirm it here if you're ready to step into authorship. I am the authority of my inner world. Number 5. The discipline of strategic stillness. This principle unsettles most people because it contradicts everything modern culture worships. Sometimes the most intelligent move is not action, but restraint. The Stoics knew that constant movement is not strength. Discernment is. Our world confuses activity with progress, motion with meaning, but much of what people call productivity is actually anxiety wearing a disguise. We act because stillness exposes uncertainty. We push because waiting feels like loss of control. Yet forced action often delays what aligned patience would accelerate. Lao Tzu, whose insights deeply shaped Stoic thought, observed, "The sage does not attempt anything very big, and thus achieves greatness." This is not an endorsement of complacency. It is an argument for timing, for proportion, for knowing when effort multiplies and when it interferes. Strategic non-action means you act decisively when the moment is ripe, and you pause confidently when it is not. You understand that some processes require darkness before emergence, that seeds do not grow faster because you shout at the soil, that wisdom often lies in letting reality move first. Consider a master strategist or a grand master at chess. They do not rush pieces forward out of nervous energy. They observe, they wait, they allow the board to reveal itself. Their power is not in constant motion, but in deliberate restraint. While others exhaust themselves reacting, they position themselves to win. When you practice strategic stillness, you stop draining yourself with unnecessary effort. You begin listening more closely to intuition. You sense when to advance and when to hold ground. And in that space, created by your restraint, life often delivers what force never could.
This week, resist the urge to overact. Say, "I'll wait," without guilt. Say, "I don't know yet," without anxiety. Watch how solutions surface when pressure dissolves. The universe does not reward panic. It responds to clarity, and clarity is born in stillness. Number 6. Gratitude as the engine of abundance. Most people misunderstand gratitude entirely. They treat it as manners, as politeness, as a surface-level habit reserved for good days and comfortable moments. But the Stoics saw gratitude as something far more potent, an internal discipline that quietly reshapes reality. Gratitude, when practiced correctly, is not passive appreciation. It is one of the most powerful manifesting forces available to the human mind. When you genuinely value what you already possess, you signal readiness for more. You stop operating from internal emptiness and begin operating from fullness. This shift alone changes what you attract. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote that when you wake in the morning, you should remind yourself that the people you meet may be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, or surly. Not to harden your heart, but to prepare your mind. He recognized human flaws without bitterness. Even in imperfection, he found perspective. Even in difficulty, he found reason for gratitude. Notice the discipline in that mindset. He did not wait for ideal conditions to appreciate life.
He appreciated clarity, understanding, and moral awareness, even in a flawed world. This is not naive optimism. This is Stoic strength, gratitude rooted in reality, not fantasy. Here's what happens internally when you practice real gratitude. Your mind exits scarcity mode. You stop scanning life for what is missing and start recognizing what is present. The signal you send changes. Instead of broadcasting lack, you radiate sufficiency, and sufficiency is magnetic. This does not mean ignoring hardship or pretending everything is fine. Stoic gratitude does not deny pain. It acknowledges reality fully and then chooses focus deliberately. You learn to appreciate challenges because they harden your character. You value struggle because it sharpens your judgment. You respect setbacks because they often redirect you away from paths that would have diminished you. When you wake with gratitude, you prime your nervous system for clarity and resilience. You begin the day internally aligned instead of internally complaining. When you go to sleep grateful, you instruct your subconscious mind to search for value instead of deficiency. Over time, this creates a powerful upward spiral. Gratitude generating circumstances that justify even deeper gratitude. But the real power is not only in feeling thankful, it is in expressing it. Gratitude must move outward to multiply. Speak appreciation while people can still hear it. Acknowledge efforts even when it's small. Recognize beauty in ordinary moments. Thank your body for enduring. Thank your breath for sustaining you. Thank your heart for its relentless persistence, even on days you feel unworthy of it. Gratitude transforms possession into sufficiency, and sufficiency is always the foundation for expansion. When life sees that you respect what you've already been given, it entrusts you with more, not as a reward, but as a natural response to your readiness. Number 7. The discipline of emotional sovereignty. Your emotions are not random events that happen to you. They are internal responses that happen through you. This single distinction carries the power to reshape your entire life, yet most people never claim it. Instead, they spend years handing their emotional state over to traffic, opinions, rejection, numbers, headlines, and circumstances they cannot control. Seneca observed, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and unknown to the eternal and divine." In other words, an untrained mind reacts automatically, while a disciplined mind responds deliberately. Emotional reactions are not destiny, they are habits, and habits can be reformed. Consider two people facing the same rejection, the same loss, the same disappointment. One spirals into bitterness, paralysis, and self-pity. The other allows the pain to pass through, extracts the lesson, and redirects the energy into growth. The difference is not intelligence, luck, or circumstance. It is emotional sovereignty, the ability to govern one's inner state rather than be ruled by it. Emotional sovereignty does not mean emotional suppression. Stoicism never taught numbness. It taught mastery. You feel anger without becoming violent. You experience sadness without letting it define your identity. You acknowledge fear without allowing it to freeze your will. Your emotions are permitted to speak, but they are not permitted to drive. This mastery is essential because emotion is creative fuel. Whatever state you consistently occupy, you reinforce. Chaos breeds chaos. Calm multiplies calm. When you can maintain inner order during external disorder, you become a stabilizing force, and life responds to that stability. The practice is simple, but it requires discipline. When a strong emotion arises, pause. Do not judge it. Ask, what information is this emotion bringing me? What action is it inviting? How can I channel this energy without letting it control me? Then decide, consciously, how long you will sit in that emotion and what constructive action it will fuel.
Your emotions are messengers, not monarchs. They are signals, not commands. When you take authority over your inner world, you reclaim the power to shape your external one. If you're ready to step into that authority, anchor it below with clarity. My emotions exist, but they do not rule me. Number 8.
the Stoic principle of enough. The modern world survives on one illusion, that you are perpetually lacking more success, more money, more recognition, more approval. Only then, it says, will you feel complete. The Stoics dismantled this illusion at its root. They understood that enough is not a quantity, it is a relationship. Seneca, one of the wealthiest and most influential men in Rome, wrote with brutal honesty, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who desires more, who is poor." This was not the philosophy of deprivation, it was the insight of someone who had tasted excess and discovered it could not satisfy. The philosophy of enough does not mean shrinking your ambitions or rejecting growth. It means freeing your well-being from dependency on accumulation. It means recognizing that the emotional reward you believe sits on the other side of achievement is already available if you stop postponing it. Here is the paradox that rewires everything. When you genuinely feel that you have enough, you stop chasing from lack. You move from fullness, and fullness attracts. Desperation repels. Contentment invites. The most magnetic people you know are not consumed by what they lack. They are grounded in what they already possess, while still remaining open to expansion. This state is not complacency, it is confidence. It is the quiet certainty that your value is not conditional, that you are already sufficient, already complete, regardless of outcomes. From this foundation, ambition becomes joyful rather than anxious. Effort becomes inspired rather than frantic. Practice this tonight. Before sleep, take inventory, not of what is missing, but of what is present. Your body, your experiences, your resilience, your opportunities. Let the weight of that richness settle into your nervous system. This sense of enough is not passive, it is generative. It is the soil from which meaningful growth emerges. If you're ready to stop chasing worth and start attracting from wholeness, let it be known below. I am enough, and I create from that truth. Number 9, the power of courageous authenticity. One of the most invisible yet destructive barriers to fulfillment is living a life that is not truly your own. The moment you begin shaping yourself to meet expectations, suppressing honest thoughts, or performing roles that conflict with your inner nature, you create internal friction, and friction blocks flow. When your outer life contradicts your inner truth, your energy becomes divided, and divided energy cannot create clearly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of a simple freedom: how much trouble a person avoids when they stop monitoring what others say, think, or do. This was not indifference, it was liberation. Authenticity is not just a moral virtue, it is a creative force. When you hide who you are, you confuse life itself. You send mixed signals about what you value, what you desire, and what you are available for, and life responds to clarity, not performance. Ask yourself honestly, how can the right people recognize you if you are wearing a mask? How can the right opportunities reach you if you are presenting a version of yourself designed to be acceptable rather than truthful? Authentic expression is alignment, and alignment is what allows the right doors to open while the wrong ones quietly close. This does not mean becoming harsh, reckless, or inconsiderate. Stoic authenticity is disciplined. It is truth expressed with restraint. It is the courage to speak honestly without needing approval, to pursue what genuinely energizes you rather than what appears impressive, to choose according to your values rather than borrowed standards. When you stop performing for acceptance, something remarkable happens. Those who resonate with the real you draw closer. Those who don't fall away without conflict. Goals that were never yours lose their grip. Paths that align with your nature begin to reveal themselves. This process can feel uncomfortable because authenticity carries a cost. Not everyone will understand you. Not every door will remain open. But this is not loss. It is precision. Your authentic self is not a weakness. It is your most refined instrument. Everything meant for you is calibrated to who you truly are, not to who you pretend to be. Begin today. In one conversation, speak honestly instead of safely. In one choice, honor what you actually want. instead of what feels expected. Pay attention to the subtle shift in energy. This is alignment restoring itself.
Number 10. The Stoic trust in right timing. The final, and perhaps most demanding Stoic discipline, is learning to trust timing itself. Not blind waiting, not passive hope, but active trust in the intelligence that governs events beyond your immediate perception. The Stoics understood that life unfolds with order, even when that order is temporarily hidden from view. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." This was not resignation, it was cooperation with reality. The Stoics believed the universe was rational, structured, and purposeful, never random, even when painful. Impatience quietly sabotages more lives than failure ever does. When you demand outcomes on your schedule, you introduce tension into the process. You overlook alternatives. You force doors that were never meant to open. You reject blessings because they arrive in unfamiliar forms. But when you trust timing, you move with life instead of against it. Delays are rarely punishment. More often, they are preparation. Sometimes you are not yet the person capable of carrying what you are asking for. Sometimes the conditions are still assembling. Sometimes the obstacle is shielding you from a future version of yourself that would have been diminished by arriving too soon. Reflect honestly on your own life. The most meaningful events, love, insight, opportunity, rarely appeared on schedule. They emerged unexpectedly, through detours, often when you had released control. This is not coincidence. This is timing revealing its intelligence. Trusting timing does not mean abandoning effort. It means pairing effort with humility. You act with discipline, but you release the outcome. You pursue goals without strangling them. You allow life to surprise you, instead of resisting anything that doesn't match your expectations. When you trust timing, your nervous system calms. You stop rushing moments that are already full. You stop living exclusively for a future that may arrive differently than imagined. You begin noticing the subtle order unfolding now. The Stoics never spoke of manifestation as wish fulfillment. They spoke of preparation, of character, of becoming. Life does not reward desire alone. It responds to readiness, and readiness is built through patience, alignment, in trust in a wisdom larger than your own. When you truly embody these 10 Stoic principles, detaching from desperate desire, anchoring yourself in the present moment, releasing resistance, reclaiming inner authority, practicing strategic non-action, cultivating gratitude, mastering emotional sovereignty, embracing the philosophy of enough, expressing yourself authentically, and trusting divine timing, something profound begins to shift within you. You stop exhausting yourself by pushing against reality, and instead you move in harmony with it. Life no longer feels like a constant struggle that must be conquered. It becomes a current you can navigate with clarity, strength, and calm. This is not about abandoning your ambitions. It is not about shrinking your dreams or settling for less. On the contrary, it is about elevating your consciousness to a level where effort becomes intelligent, where action becomes precise, and where outcomes unfold with far less resistance. At this level, what once felt like miracles begins to feel natural. Synchronicities are no longer rare coincidences. They become frequent signals that you are aligned. Opportunities arrive without force. Solutions appear without panic. And the things you truly need begin moving toward you without you having to chase them in fear. The Stoics understood a truth that modern culture often forgets. Peace is not the absence of hardship. Peace is the presence of wisdom. And wisdom, when lived daily and applied patiently, reshapes your entire experience of life. Challenges will still arise, but they will no longer control you. Uncertainty will still exist, but it will no longer paralyze you, because a calm, disciplined mind becomes the foundation upon which everything good is built.
If you've been waiting for a sign, let this be it. What you were seeking is already unfolding. Your manifestations are not delayed, they are aligning. Your only responsibility now is to remain grounded, to trust the process, and to prepare yourself internally to receive what is coming without fear or doubt. Before you go, take a moment to anchor this wisdom into your life. If this message resonated with you, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. To seal this intention and invite peace into your daily experience, write this in the comments: I relax, I trust, I receive, and subscribe to Stoic Sage Academy, where ancient wisdom meets modern life, so you can move forward with strength, clarity, and unshakable calm.